Well, this is far from an Inkscape tutorial. I use Inkscape to draw stuff just because I'm more familiar with it, and I use Lightburn to run the laser. I'm making a gift card holder. I saw this on a video or saw it online somewhere, so I wanted to hold a gift card that's 3 3/8 by 2 1/4. We'll make a little, and we'll start there, and we'll get our sizes. We're in millimeters. We go to inches. 2 1/4 is 0.25, so I'm going to go 0.3 to make it a little bit bigger. And what did I say? 3 3/8. Yeah. So 3/8 is 3.7 or 0.375. 3.4. Whoops, that was the wrong way. 3.4. There we go. And that is the size of a credit card. I've already drawn this out, but I did it for cash. I folded up a dollar bill and measured it so that I could stick it in there. But then I thought, well, I'll route out a section also so a gift card can fit in there. So let me stick this in there also and zoom in a little bit. And I want to center all of these, align and distribute it down the center and horizontally, vertically and horizontally. So I will take this section in here and I can do it in Lightburn. So essentially what I have is 3 pieces here. I have this piece, this cover fits exactly over the outline. So I just took one of these and then dissected it and cut around it, made that little sliding disc, and then I make this so that it will slide in and out and catch on these little tabs. So I will stick it back in here and get it aligned up. Let me put on click, snap. There's snap. And then this will come up in here, and I will just click between these two and then use built-in alignment tools for horizontal and vertical centering. And then this will be a cover that goes over the top, and then that will be a cover that goes over the bottom. So I'm going to decorate these up. This is just some clip art. That I found on the internet, and I want this to be a border. I've already pre-sized it, but all you got to do is just raise and lower it. I edited the image in an image editing program before I got to this stage to make it high contrast, at least enough for my purposes. So I'll flip that one the opposite direction, stick it on there, and I will put this writing. This is my son Joe. So I am going to select all of these and do the vertical centering, see how it lines them all up. And I am just going to visually eye this up horizontally because none of it is centered. So that is that. Here's it for the front cover. Here's a picture of me in a Santa suit. And I've prepared this on ImageR's website. So I am going to distribute that center. And I want this to be offset. I don't want it to be center. There, I'm right down this edge, but I want it to be centered vertically, so let's go there. I've got that, and then I've got this text that I'll put right over the top. Visually, that looks like it's even on the side. Well, there's my drawing. Well, here I've pulled the drawing into Lightburn, and I've used 4 different colors. One says image, this says fill, it says fill for the green, and the red is line. That's the only line I have. All these are set at 60, which is the max power for my laser. The speeds, 400, 300, 115, and 15 are all how fast it moves. I think it's millimeters per foot, or per second, I'm sorry, or per minute. I don't know what it is, quite honestly. Anyway, if I click on this first clip art image that's in black and white, it highlights the image. And I'm burning it at 300, which is very fast. 500 is the very maximum. 400 is probably the max I use. So that will burn. The text and this text all here all hits in the same black fill. That's at 400. That's the fastest I have. It doesn't look like it's filling in this picture, but if I show you the preview in just a second, it will show you how it's going to look. If I click on the image, it is going at 300 at full power, back and forth. If I click on some of these lines on the outside, it highlights the red, and that's cutting very slow. If I was doing it fast, it would just make a line, but I'm doing so slow at full power that it's burning all the way through my 1/8 inch plywood. And if I go to the green one, that will scan back and forth, but I have it very slow at 115. And that is enough to burn pretty deeply into the wood, but not all the way through it. So, and you will see the results of what that does. I'll click on a preview here so you can see. The preview, if you zoom in, it shows you a little more in depth of what it's doing. This is a raster image, and it's dithering. So if you don't know what those terms are, it's kind of like newspaper print. And I had to fiddle back and forth with the speed 2 or 3 times to get one that would work on the plywood that I'm using, the material that I'm using, to get the right darkness. And if you see here, this square is where a credit card will lay. When it gets to real size, it will line out. Well, let me zoom out just a little bit. Oh, that's pretty close. But you see the credit card will lay in that little tray. And then this cutout will still be inside of that, where you can stick money in. And this whole piece is only an 1/8 inch thick. So I can't stick life savings in there. I can only stick a few bills. And it says it will take 20 minutes and 11 seconds to do this. I'll get out of that. I'll go to the laser, get it connected, and show you. This is the size of the laser that I can use or cut. It's a pretty big laser. It's 80 watt, and it will cut out to almost 28 inches, 27.5 inches probably, 27 inches, and down to about 20 inches, 19 inches. So it cuts a big area. Okay, here we are out in the garage, and I have my file pulled up in Lightburn, and the noise you're hearing is my laser. I'm going to send this to the laser, and it's going to ask me a file name, and while it's thinking and calculating, then it will send it to the laser once it gets done. And see it loading on the laser now. This is an old Chinese to locate my plywood in the right spot. There is a function in light burn to frame situation. So well, you can see I'm off the plywood, and I'm going to go down eyeballing it. I'm going to do it again because I don't want to waste any more plywood. I'm going to try to scoot it right to the edge. It looks like I'm pretty good right there. Alright, we're going to cut it, turn it down, and because it's in that area, you should be able to see it. I'm going to push the start button, and you will see it start to work. And it goes in the order of operation that I put the letters I had down first. And you can see why it takes a while. The humming noise is a 6-inch fan that I have that it sucks all the smoke and fumes out. You can just barely tell that anything is burning in here. Otherwise, this whole garage would fill full of heavy smoke. So we're done. Pull it that. If it's cut well, that'll lift right off. And my individual pieces will lift out. That's the credit card. Actually, that's the money cut out. And then the credit card will sit right in there. These are just scraps. Picture doesn't look that impressive. See how everything's covered in soot and smoke? I'm going to sand it. Then we'll see what the finished product looks like. Okay, I'm going to sand these. It's going to get real noisy real quick. There's the sander, and I'm going to have a vacuum on it. So here we go. Here's the finished product, and it's all glued together. I sanded the edges. Oops, can't see it. All glued together, and I sanded the edges, front and back. And there's a close-up of how the picture came out after sanding. I still haven't varnished them or shellacked them. I put a coat of shellac. I think that'll bring the colors out even more. This one I just made a blank for surprise guests that I can write in a name. I thought you might be interested in how I glue these up. I pull the slide out so as not to get it. I'm just using CA thin and putting it in position and squirting the glue in and letting it go between the cracks. And this is so absorbent that it sucks in and it dries pretty quick. Oops, I don't know if you can see that. I was watching what I was doing and not watching the camera. So I've got one more side to do. I'll show you. And I'll do it on this side, and I go away, let the glue flow away from this so I don't glue this in place. Guess how I know that? I learned that the hard way. And just let the glue flow down the seam. And I go over it three times, let plenty of glue flow in. And it's literally water thin viscosity. And just double checking. This is the second one I've made for Joe, because the first one I glued it together. For whatever reason, I got the other ones all successfully glued together, but I messed up Joe's. You can see the edges are now dark, but I will show you after I sand. Okay, I've got some 120. Again, my disc is lightly stuck to the table. Then I just lay this on there and it keeps everything from sliding. Well, in theory, light pressure. And it just takes a few light passes. You can see how dark it is. Got most of it. There is the finished product. Little gap in the plywood, but that's in the layers of the plywood. Card sits flush in there. I grabbed an old defunct card just to show you how easy it works. Sits right in there, just a little bit of slop. Shove it in, or if you want, you can shove it in a little bit. Put your money in there. Put your gift card on it, and the money sits still recessed, and it all slides in and pulls out. Fine. Thanks for watching.